You ever look in the mirror and feel like your haircut hasn't caught up with your spirit? Like you've grown into this confident, vibrant woman, more self-assured than ever, but your hairstyle didn't get the memo? You're not alone. A lot of women over 60 are feeling this quiet disconnect. You've raised families, weathered storms, built wisdom that can't be bought. But somehow, the bob you've had for decades might be working against the very glow you've earned. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 of the most common bob haircut mistakes women over 60 make without even realizing it. But more than that, I'll show you how to fix each one in a way that's flattering, fresh, and incredibly simple to maintain. And we're not stopping there. You'll also get insider advice that most stylists forget to mention: how your face shape and hair type should guide your haircut, the best color tones for your skin's undertone, and modern bob styles that work with gravity, not against it. Plus, we'll explore easy, realistic styling tips and even the emotional power of letting go of an old look that no longer reflects the woman you are. Deanne63 shared something with me once that stuck. I felt invisible until I updated my bob. Then suddenly, people started seeing me again. That's the shift I want for you. If you've ever felt like your reflection doesn't match your energy anymore, this is your moment. Tap that subscribe button now, because we don't just talk beauty here, we reclaim it. And tell me below, where are you watching from and how long have you had the same haircut? I'd love to know. It says more than you think. Now let's begin with mistake number 1. The one-size-fits-all bob that quietly works against your best features. It's easy to fall for. You walk into the salon, maybe show a picture, and the stylist says, "Ah, the classic bob, timeless choice." And it is, but only if it's tailored to you. See, there's a reason that so many bobs look stunning on the model in the magazine, but fall flat in real life. It's not your age, your face, or your hair, it's the fit. And when a haircut isn't cut for your shape, it doesn't matter how well it's styled. It just doesn't sing. Here's the truth. Most stylists don't say out loud, template bobs were designed for the average. But you, at this stage in life, are anything but. Let's talk face shape. If your face is round, a chin-length bob can actually make your face look wider. What helps? Adding length in the front so the eye travels vertically instead of side to side. Got a heart-shaped face? Those beautiful cheekbones deserve softness at the jawline. A blunt cut can exaggerate the chin. Ask instead for layered ends that balance your lower face. For square faces, harsh lines can double down on angles. Try a deep side part or soft waves to bring fluidity and grace. Now, if you're blessed with an oval face, you've won the haircut lottery. Most bob styles will flatter you. Just don't let that make you settle. There's always room to enhance. Now, let's move to your hair's texture. Fine hair? Avoid weighty, blunt edges. Go for angled layers that create volume and movement without dragging your look down. Thicker hair? It needs room to breathe. Debulking the ends, especially around the nape and sides, can take your cut from bulky to beautifully balanced. And for those with waves or curls, a cookie-cutter bob will fight your texture every step of the way. Instead, work with layers that encourage natural shape, not battle it. Lorraine66 told me once, "I had that same sleek bob from my corporate days. I thought it made me look polished, but once I softened the edges and added layers around my jaw, I finally looked like me again." That's the magic right there. Not younger, not older, just more you. And that brings us to mistake number 2. The one that looks great from the front but tells a very different story from the back. From the front, your bob might look elegant, polished, even perfect, but turn around and suddenly the story shifts. This is what I call the back view betrayal. It's that unflattering combination of a flat crown and a puffed nape that makes your head look like it's retreating into your shoulders. And here's the frustrating part. It's rarely your fault. Most stylists don't cut for the back. They focus on the mirror, not the exit. But as you move through your day, walking into rooms, stepping out of cabs, hugging your grandkids, it's that back view that speaks before you do. Now, let's get practical. As we age, we naturally lose volume at the crown. It's subtle, but it changes the entire silhouette of your cut. If your bob isn't adjusted for that, it starts to slope. Instead of lifting your posture and face, it sinks. And nobody over 60 should be walking around with a haircut that drags their presence downward. Here's what to ask your stylist for. First, a crown lift. Not dramatic, just enough soft graduation at the top to create height. Think gentle rounding, not a beehive. Second, a tapered neckline. This pulls the eye upward instead of creating bulk at the bottom. It gives the neck a more graceful line, and yes, it works even if you haven't been doing Pilates. And most importantly, ask for a rounded back, not that harsh, stacked shelf look that was all the rage in early 2000s salons. At home, there's a simple styling trick that makes a world of difference. Use a small amount of root lifting powder right at the crown, then with clean fingertips, lift the roots gently in opposite directions. No teasing, no heat, just lift and go. I once heard stylist Ellie James say, "The back of your head is your exit statement. It deserves as much intention as the front," and she's right. Because when you leave the room, your haircut keeps talking. Now let's move into another silent mistake, one that hides in plain sight every time we color our hair. And it's not about going gray, it's about choosing a shade that actually knows you. Hair color. It's one of the fastest ways to refresh your look, yet it's also one of the easiest ways to get it wrong. You might have chosen that deep chestnut years ago because it made your eyes pop, or maybe you went icy blonde thinking it would brighten everything, but now, that same shade might be washing you out, pulling attention to places you'd rather not spotlight, like shadows around the mouth, or fine lines near the eye. That's not vanity, that's chemistry. As we grow wiser, our skin tone naturally softens. The contrast we had in our 40s begins to mellow. But when hair color stays bold while the skin grows gentler, something feels off. You can't quite put your finger on it, but the reflection looking back feels harsher than it should. Here's where the magic happens, undertones. If your skin leans warm, you've probably noticed you look best in earth tones, gold jewelry, or peachy blush. The right shades for you? Golden beige, soft cinnamon, or honey lowlights. These shades warm the complexion and make your features glow, not disappear. If your undertone is cool, you likely shine in silver, jewel tones, or rose pink. You'll want to explore ash blonde, silver beige, or a muted cool cocoa. These colors bring freshness without clashing with your natural grace. But don't stop there. Dimension is key. A single flat color can feel heavy and unnatural. Instead, ask for soft lowlights or delicate highlights near the face to add movement and life to your cut. It's not about sparkle, it's about subtle light play that lifts everything around it. Sharon, 68, told me she went from a dull chestnut to warm caramel with thin gold ribbons woven in. Her friends asked if she'd had work done. Her answer, nope, just color magic. That's the power of a well-chosen shade. It doesn't scream, it whispers. She looks amazing and no one knows exactly why. As one colorist once said, your hair color should glow with your skin, not shout over it. And now that you've got the tone down, let's talk about something that drains more time than it gives, especially if your mornings are already full. You know the cut. The one that looks breathtaking in the salon mirror under soft lighting with a stylist working magic behind you. You walk out feeling unstoppable until the next morning, when your reflection tells a very different story. That's the trap of the high minimum bob. It behaves perfectly when it's fresh out of a professional's hands, but at home, it flips, it frizzes, it demands a round brush, a hairdryer, maybe even a silent prayer. And before breakfast, your arms are sore and your patience is tested. Let me say this clearly. If your haircut wears you out, it's not the right haircut. A good cut should fit your life, not fight it. Women over 60 have too much to do and too much wisdom to be wrestling with their hair every morning. You've earned ease. You've earned grace. So let's talk solutions. Start by asking your stylist for air-dry friendly shaping. This means a cut that works with your natural texture, not against it. Soft layers, movement, built-in forgiveness. You want a bob that looks good when it's not trying too hard? Then choose products that respect your time. A lightweight, volumizing mousse can lift without stiffness. A dab of air-dry cream softens texture and keeps things in place, perfect for older hair that needs more moisture and less effort. For those days when you do reach for tools, use a ceramic vented round brush paired with a low-temperature dryer. This combo smooths without scorching and gives you just enough shape to walk out the door with confidence. Finish with a texturizing spray at the roots, not for drama but for gentle lift that lasts. Because at this stage, your cut should enhance your freedom, not steal it. A stylist once said to me, hair should feel like a blessing, not a bargain. And he was right. You shouldn't serve your haircut, it should serve you. And speaking of shape and balance, let's look at a mistake that sneaks up from the side, when your volume is in the wrong place and suddenly your whole face looks off, even if the front view seems just fine. Some mistakes just don't show up until you turn your head. From the front, everything seems polished, but from the side, that bob has suddenly transformed into something round, wide, and not particularly kind to your jawline. Welcome to what I call the mushroom effect. It usually starts with good intentions. You ask your stylist for volume because volume sounds youthful, right? But where that volume lands matters more than how much of it you have. When the fullness sits at the sides, right around the cheeks or jawline, it can visually widen the face and shorten the neck. That balance you had in the mirror, gone in the profile shot. And it happens quietly. The geometry shifts, and suddenly your haircut is doing the opposite of what you hoped for. But here's the fix, and it's simpler than you think. Ask your stylist for vertical lift, not horizontal puff. The goal is to guide the eye upward, not outward. Think height at the crown, softness around the jaw, and subtle movement through the sides. Two smart shapes to explore? A feathered bob or an inverted bob. Feathered styles add lift without bulk. An inverted bob, shorter in the back, longer in front, naturally elongate the neckline and slim the silhouette. You can also request that the sides taper inward slightly, just around the cheekbones. It's the haircut version of contouring, only this time it's done with scissors instead of makeup. At home, here's a quick styling trick. Flip your head upside down, spray a little light texture spray at the roots, and dry for just a few seconds. It gives you gentle lift, exactly where you want it, without the helmet hair look. The secret here isn't more hair, it's smarter shape. Because the right volume, in the right place, lifts your whole look. And now that we've rebalanced your silhouette, let's talk about a different kind of weight. When you've been carrying the same haircut for decades, out of habit more than choice. Let's be honest, some haircuts are less about style and more about history. You walk into the salon, sit down, and say, just do what I always get. No questions, no mirror angles, just routine. And maybe, just maybe, that routine started in 1996. We hold on to certain cuts like we hold on to favorite songs or worn-in sweaters. They feel familiar. They feel safe. But here's the quiet truth. What once felt timeless may now be quietly aging you. And consistency? It's not always the compliment it seems. Because while your life, your face, and your energy have evolved, that haircut might still be stuck in your mid-40s. It's not about starting from scratch, it's about honoring who you are today. You're not the same woman you were when that bob first turned heads. You're more grounded, more confident, more radiant. Your cut should reflect that. The fix doesn't have to be bold. Sometimes all it takes is a soft fringe, a side part instead of center, or a few fresh layers to break the pattern. Or consider a French bob shorter, softer, with movement and a whisper of edge. Maybe even a beveled cut that hugs the jawline but feels less rigid than the old classic. Paula, 65, told me something I'll never forget. She said, "After I changed my haircut, people didn't say I looked different. They said I looked alive." That's the shift we're after. So if you've been wearing the same bob for decades, ask yourself, does it still reflect this version of you, or are you just staying loyal to the past? Because you don't owe anything to a haircut that no longer serves you. Next, we're diving into the mistake most women don't even realize they're making. Ignoring the modern bob styles that were made for women over 60, not girls on Instagram. There's a quiet myth floating around out there that bob haircuts only come in one flavor: blunt, basic, and best worn with pearls and a polite smile. But today's bobs, they've grown up, they've adapted. And the best ones now do exactly what you need at this stage in life. They move, they lift, and they breathe. If your current cut feels flat, stiff, or stuck, It might be because you're still wearing a bob designed for a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. The good news? There's a whole new lineup of modern bobs made for women who've stepped into their strength, not out of it. Let's start with the French bob. It's short, soft, and charmingly effortless. Think gentle waves just below the cheekbones, often with a fringe that whispers sophistication without trying too hard. It says, Paris without needing a passport. Next, the inverted bob. This one's a game changer. Shorter in the back, longer in the front. It visually lengthens the neck and draws the eye up. If you want elegance without the work, this one's for you. Then there's the feathered bob. Full of movement, but never bulky. Light layering creates soft lift without weighing down your natural texture. It's perfect if you want volume that feels more like air than effort. And finally, the textured layered bob, a personal favorite for women who want to look styled without spending more than a few minutes in front of the mirror. It's easy, it's breathable, it's as low maintenance as your spirit demands. One stylist said it perfectly. The best bobs now aren't cut into place, they evolve with you. That's exactly what you want. A cut that doesn't hold you back. A style that moves with your life. So if you've been playing it safe, maybe it's time to lean in. Try something different. Try something lighter. You've earned the right to experiment and the right to love what you see in the mirror. And now, as we bring everything together, let's talk about what this journey has really been about. Because it was never just about hair, it was about you. This journey wasn't just about layers, angles, or necklines. It was about something deeper. Recognizing that how you show up on the outside should honor who you are on the inside. Because the right bob won't just frame your face, it will mirror your growth, your wisdom, your quiet confidence. It will say, without needing to speak, I'm still here and I still shine. You don't need to chase trends. You don't need to chase youth. You already hold beauty. It's been with you all along. The goal is simply to let your style catch up with your spirit. And here's the truth most women forget. There's no expiration date on reinvention. You're allowed to try something new, to soften the edges, to sharpen the shape, to choose something today that reflects where you are now, not where you were 20 years ago. So I'll leave you with this. Which of these haircut mistakes have you worn proudly? Which fresh style are you ready to step into? Let me know in the comments, and don't just keep this to yourself. Share it with a friend who deserves to glow just as much as you do. And if this video helped you see yourself a little differently today, go ahead and subscribe. We've got more timeless style wisdom, straight talk, and soul-deep beauty tips coming your way. Because at this stage, you're not fading, you're just getting started.